Hey, I'm Michael with Wastebusters.
Hello, I'm Celia Ferber with Recology Santa Rosa.
And Celia's nice enough to take us on a tour of the MRF, that's a material recovery facility here in Sonoma County that processes the recyclables from the area.
Yep, it processes all of the commercial and residential recyclables from Sonoma County in the areas that we service.
Okay, and so this is the inbound, you called it, where recycling gets dropped off before it gets sorted?
Exactly. This is the inbound material, all of the recycling trucks that are picking up your recyclables at home or at work, taking the material here to be sorted.
And it looks like a lot of cardboard.
Yes, we live in the Amazon era, so we have a very cardboard heavy load.
I've read that before, where the recycling centers used to have these gray piles, and now they're brown.
Right.
So.
Right, in Sonoma County we have a lot of cardboard in particular, and then we have a lot of glass because there's a lot of wine and beer that happens here.
Okay. All right, so the inbound pile here is dropped off by the recycling trucks.
Yes,
right?
correct. Uh-huh.
And then what happens next?
From there, this pile is loaded into what we call here a hopper. And so this kind of loosens up the material and it makes it ascend up a conveyor belt to our first sort line.
Okay, so use a front loader or something? A tractor?
Tractor, yes.
Tractor, okay. And then it's dumped in there, and then it goes up that belt, and up there is the sort line?
Exactly.
Okay. And it looks like there's some tarps and other kind of stuff that got caught on the edge there.
Right, so what we're noticing is we can see tarps and we can see film plastic. They get caught and tangled in our equipment, so we really want to discourage people from putting that type of material in their recycle bins.
Right, because it looks like there's a lot of felts and moving parts that it could tangle in.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Well, let's see where it goes next.
Alrighty.
All right. So the material comes up that conveyor belt there after it goes to the hopper, and then you got a sort line up there. It looks like.
Yep. This is our first sort line, and so on this line, they're taking out in this bunker. They're taking out really large cardboard chunks. So they'll just put them through a hole up there, and then it'll come down to this bunker. And then in this other bunker, we have obvious contaminants, which are for the most part film plastics. So they're pulling out the obvious contaminants there. And then in the third bunker, they're pulling out bulky, rigid plastic. So if someone puts a laundry basket or a chair, and they're pulling that out, and we'll recycle what we can from those bulky, rigid plastics.
Okay. So you're kind of doing a negative sort on the material to get the big cardboard and all the trash out, and then rigid plastics before you go over to where you get the good stuff.
Right, well, the cardboard's good stuff.
Good stuff, right.
Cardboard has a lot of value. So yeah, we're basically pulling out the big items here, and then it'll go on to a smaller sort.
Okay. And then this material, what happens to that? This cardboard.
This cardboard will then come, it'll be loaded by a tractor over to here. We have another cardboard pile, which is basically coming directly from this bunker. And then it will go to the baler, which you can see this is the blue in the distance,
okay.
And that's where it'll get baled.
Okay, and like a hay bale, you just smash it all together and wrap it up, and that's how it goes to market.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about the trash? That just goes back to that overs pile and then to the landfill?
Correct.
Okay. And all the rest of the material continues down that way?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Okay, so the next step from the initial sort is the glass. This is going to be hard to see without the equipment.
Right.
Basically the glass comes through this conveyor belt and it goes to that back conveyor belt and then it spits out behind the building.
Okay, so recyclables go past here after all the trash and cardboard and big plastics go down, and then this machine separates all the glass. and then it goes out the back.
Correct. Uh-huh.
Okay. And
So right here we have our bales of aluminum, and aluminum is by far our most valuable commodity. These get recycled fairly locally in Fairfield, and they get turned into new soda or beer cans, basically.
yeah, aluminum, I hear is one of the fastest return to market kind of thing, where you put it in your recycling bin and within a couple weeks it's back in the form of a new soda.
Right, absolutely. Most people who are manufacturing soda cans or beer cans, they're not subsidizing with any mined aluminum. They're strictly using recycled aluminum.
100% recycled aluminum in cans.
Yeah, it's more cost effective for them that way.
Yeah, totally.
And so that's why we see such a strong demand for it.
Uh-huh. That's interesting. Like, so what does one of these bales go for?
Right now, the price for aluminum is about $1,200 a ton.
Wow, that's a high price.
Yeah, it's our most valuable commodity.
Yeah. I've heard with the aluminum, even though we enjoy a very high recycling rate for aluminum, I think this is nationally, but it's like 75% of cans get recycled. That other 25% that doesn't get recycled is still enough to like rebuild the entire U.S. airline fleet every 3 months. Or something
Wow.
like that. It's a massive amount of aluminum that still isn't being recovered.
That's fascinating.
Even though it's so valuable.
That's a shame. That's a shame for any aluminum to end up in the landfill.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of the. A bauxite's a very common material, but it takes a ton of energy to make virgin aluminum.
Right.
So you save a lot of energy by using recycled aluminum.
Exactly. We save energy and it's more cost effective.
Right. Oh, okay, so recycle cans.
So what we see here is bales of our standard mixed paper. So this is any type of newspaper, office paper, your old, notes in a notebook. This is going across our sort line and is baled into piles that look like this. And for the most part, this is going overseas to get recycled because we don't have so much fiber recycling in the U.S. right now.
Okay, so you want all paper.
Yeah.
Cardboard, cereal boxes, like paperboard, office paper. What about shredded paper?
Thank you. Forgot about that. Please don't put shredded paper in your recycle bin. It's too small. It's like confetti, and we're not able to capture it on our sort line.
People can't grab it fast enough.
No. But there is another option for your shredded paper. You can put it in your compost bin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll get turned into compost at the compost facilities really, really nicely. They love that material there.
That's probably the most secure way to destroy your documents.
Pretty much, I would think so. No one's ever gonna be sorting it after it
Right.
goes in your compost bin, so they won't see what's on it.
Okay, good call. Egg cartons, anything else that people wouldn't expect to be able to recycle, or you just want all the paper? The glass window and the envelope's good?
Yeah, that's such a
Yeah.
minimal amount. We're okay with that.
Okay.
But
Not like food containers, right? Like a paper
like a
to-go?
frozen food box, or
No, like, so you would want a frozen food
Yeah.
box,
Mhm.
but you wouldn't want like a Chinese takeout container.
no, that could go in your compost bin.
Okay.
If it's food soiled or if it's wet, it's best to put it in your compost bin. That'll break down into nice, rich, compostable material. But it's considered soiled, and so we're not able to then bale it up and sell
Right,
it.
because this is going to go in a shipping container and go to Asia or something.
Mm-hmm.
If it has food waste on it, it'll get all moldy.
It'll get moldy and gross,
Gross,
and
and
they
they
do not
reject
want that.
it.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, you would put the paper plates with food waste in the compost, not recycling.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Right. And I guess there's one other thing to mention as more relevant during the holiday season, but as far as wrapping paper goes, if it's shiny and metallic, we're not able to recycle that. So that would be considered trash because that's a composite material. But if it's just regular wrapping paper without the metallic element, then we're able to recycle it.
I like to tell people that you have the tear test. So like if it tears easily, it's recyclable, but if it's like plasticky, then not so much.
Tear test is great.
Okay. Great. So that's the recycling center. This is all the commodities that are going to go to market instead of the landfill. So this is where they turn trash to cash.
There we go. I like it.
All right. And then behind us here, now that we've gone through the whole tour, this is what you call the overs, right?
Yeah.
It's the stuff that doesn't get recycled.
Exactly. This is the reject pile. What we're looking at here is material that has gone through our full sort process, and it's not a commodity that we're able to bale and then sell. And so it's essentially rejected and it goes to the landfill. So what we're looking at here is material that should not go in your recycling cart.
Right, so plastic bags, I see a lot of those, cat food bags. It looks like a lot of soft plastics. So that's the stuff you don't want in the blue bag.
Right, absolutely. Soft plastics are not a valuable commodity. They get really dirty when they go through our sort process. We're not able to bale them up and sell them to anyone. No one wants them.
Yeah, no one wants that stuff.
Right, and they're problematic for us too. They get tangled up in our equipment.
Right. So what percentage of material coming in gets recycled and what percentage gets rejected?
Right now we're at about 85% getting recovered and 15% getting rejected, but of course we'd like to close that gap and get as close to 100% as possible.
Right, so about 15% of what people put in the blue bin actually is trash and they shouldn't put it in there.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. 85 still, I think that's higher than most people think. You know, I keep hearing people say, oh, only 40% gets recovered anyway. So 85 seems pretty good, but of course we got a way to go to educate everybody to not put garbage in the recycling.
Exactly. We're really focusing on those education efforts.
Right. Thanks so much for the lovely tour.
Thanks for coming, Michael. Really enjoyed having you here today.
Oh, great. Yeah. Thanks again, and you know, it's been enlightening.
Our pleasure.
All right.